Never think that you're ever wasting your vote, and especially in a primary. This is the only way that we really change things, is to get the incumbents out of there.
That saving the United States is not a Republican or Democratic thing. It is an American thing.
When you get to Congress and you put your hand on that Bible and swear to uphold the Constitution, is that exactly what you're going to do?
Absolutely. And not only that, is taking it a step further after that fact. I'm an optimist. I believe all members of Congress, Republican or Democrat, want an opportunity to get their patriotism back. I can demonstrate to them how to do it. Again, I said, those who control the money control the game. That's how Democrats and Republicans aren't different. They both go with what and how those who control the money want it to go. But I believe when they see my conviction, because they are completely sick of the madness, they would have to be. Anybody would want to take an opportunity, but those who do not want to get their patriotism back, in the words of our President Andrew Jackson, I will rout you out. By God, I will rout you out. H.R. Bill 2990 is the most patriotic legislation since President Jackson abolished the power from those who own the Second United States Bank. And we do that by abolishing the Federal Reserve System with shovel-ready legislation. As I said, H.R. Bill 2990 got out of legislative review in 2011. And it's a miracle that legislation exists to abolish the real enemy of the United States. I went into this thing because I knew that those who control the money control the game. I do not take any money from anyone. My soul is not for sale, whether it's PAC money or whether it's from individuals. So my soul is not for sale. That makes me untouchable.
I got to just interrupt you a second, future Congressman North. You're telling me that you have not taken any individual contributions from anybody?
People have offered, and I have politely said no.
Now, I can really get behind that, because here's a man that is talking about going into Congress and using existing legislation to abolish the Federal Reserve, and there's no money behind him. I think that makes him legitimate, number one. And how about your opponent? Do you know where any of his money is coming from?
Yes. 90% of Wahlberg's money comes from political action committees. The other balance, of course, is from individuals. But interestingly enough, 90% of the individuals who give him money are not residents of the 7th Michigan Congressional District.
I came out here to help Mr. North because I'm so tired of Wahlberg. I mean, we cannot keep electing the same people in there, and we know exactly what he's going to do. He's going to follow the party line, he's going to vote for things that aren't perfect, and he's going to compromise his real values. And he's really not got an agenda other than doing exactly what he's told.
But what I'm getting at here is, it goes back to me not taking money. That allows me to remain accountable only to my taxpayers. And when I go to Washington, I am taking my voters with me. The internet allows me the opportunity to determine exactly how the majority of my voters want me to vote. When voters around the country see that I vote in accordance to how the majority of my people want me to vote, they will demand the same from their politicians. That's where we get a unified support in order for all of us to speak, to do the things that are necessary in order to get this country back. And the opportunity exists to get our country back because there are so many people who have awoken to the truth.
We need to be able to tell our congressmen and our representatives what we want them to do and have them respond in a like manner. And here's a man that's telling us that he's going to do exactly that. Some of the ideas you talk about, like ending the Federal Reserve, and it sounds radical to people, but it's not really radical if you approach it from a moral aspect.
Existing legislation, hold that thought, shovel-ready legislation. It's already been through the legislative review process. It reconstitutes the monetary authority from a privately owned bank back to where it constitutionally belongs. By reconstituting the monetary authority and utilizing our tax wealth to rebuild America, creating the greatest economic boom since our industrial revolution, as far as fixing our crumbling roads and failing infrastructure across the nation, will create the greatest economic boom since our industrialization. As far as the environment, monies will also be utilized to rebuild our treatment facilities. They are all antiquated. They are all polluting our streams, rivers, and lakes.
Are you getting any kind of support from any of the Republicans in the area?
Only those individuals who are either in the Republican Party who care about the United States. They love our country. They realize our country is in bad shape, and they are objective enough to listen to what opportunities exist to save the United States of America. But there is a significant sheep mentality within the political party system. Personally, I am not getting any support from the established GOP parties within the 7 counties of this district.
Because I am a delegate from Branch County, and I'm interviewing Mr. North because I want the delegates in the 7th district to look at this, and I know there's a lot of fair-minded...
I did not know that about you, Rich.
There's a lot of fair-minded people that are looking for an alternative, and Congressman Walberg's been hanging around for a long time. When he got out of office, he receives a $50,000 a year retirement pension.
On top of the one he's got in Michigan.
And so this man has plenty of our money. It's time to retire him. I mean, if we want change in this country, we can't keep electing the incumbents.
The reason why we're seeing all of our rights taken away in the Constitution, the reason why they want our guns, is because they cannot achieve their agenda when the United States has a self-representative government, especially if we all have guns. They cannot accomplish that if we all have guns. Now, the Emperor of Japan, after the attack on Pearl Harbor, he issued an order to Admiral Yamamoto to invade the United States. And Admiral Yamamoto's response was, we cannot do that because there would be a gun behind every blade of grass. So we cannot lose ownership of guns. Now, all of those individuals who want our guns don't realize what having our guns means. So us doing what we need to do to prevent them from confiscating our guns, we are actually protecting those people who believe they should have our guns.
You believe in God?
Absolutely, I believe in God.
Don't you think we have a moral crisis in this country? Isn't that really at the bottom of what all these problems are, is that people are accepting immorality for a dollar bill? Isn't that really what's going on here?
They are using that medium to reach us to decentralize our moral values. And that is going to make it easier for them to achieve their agenda. As your congressman, I will be victorious in enacting legislation that will declassify existing technology that can operate a car for 10 years on a single charge. That will break our addiction to war oil.
Is there anything else you want to add?
I'm desperate. I would not be standing before you now if there was not an opportunity to do what's necessary to start at the top. We must start at the top of that corruption. And then once we take care of the corruption at the top, everything else will come down. The reason why I said I'm desperate is because I do not know how much more time exists before the dollar is completely devalued, that we go into an economic chaos, which is part of the process to achieve their agenda, and for the entire meltdown of the United States. I don't know how much time is left. I do know that an opportunity exists now.
This is the only way that we really change things, is to get the incumbents out of there. They've already proven to us they're not going to help us. And everything that this man has just been talking about will help us. So I'm calling out the Campaign for Liberty in the state of Michigan, and who is real active, and they can help us. So I'm calling out these people in the 7th District to come and support Congressman North, because we don't have any other choice. You either make the right decision now because it's the right thing to do. So everybody, let's get wised up here. We have a good man, let's support him. And I'm calling everybody out in the 7th District, and hopefully we can get a little national coverage too. I believe in God.
Absolutely, I believe in God.